You are now tuned in to the Dads Who Lift podcast. Please give us a like, share, subscribe to the YouTube account. We are on www.dadswholiftofficial.com. All the podcast links are in there. We also have an apparel line. We're on IG as Dads Who Lift Official handle. We're on Facebook, Dads Who Lift Podcast. We also have a Dads Who Lift fitness group on Facebook that's Dads Who Lift Official. A group of 30,000 like-minded dads that are just trying to be their best selves and staying fit. If that's something you're into, please check it out. But we do this stuff for free, guys, so please give us a like, share, 5-star review. We really appreciate your support. You are now tuned into the Dads Who Live podcast. You have your host, Tyler Gata.
Co-host, Joel Staley.
Second co-host, Josh Horseman.
Dads Who Live podcast manager, Josh Horseman. We had a little bit of a gap here. We had some scheduling conflicts with the media company that we are contracted to shoot with. Had some people out of town and some scheduling issues. So that's why it's been so long in between episodes. So just wanted to come on and apologize for that first and foremost. This is actually kind of a bittersweet day for us because it's our last episode with the company that we hired to shoot, direct, and format, I guess, run this podcast, CC Media. And so this is our last episode with them. We're not going to be re-upping our contract due to some issues that we've had. We love Laurel to death, which is who's been shooting us the last year. Yeah. But we're episode, what episode is this? 69. There you go. So we had 69 episodes so far on the podcast since the relaunch when I came on board. Joel obviously had some episodes before that by himself and with another guy. But we kind of reformatted when we brought on CC Media, kind of restart everything. So we started at 1 then. I don't think any of the old ones are even on there. But 69, there's been a lot, man. There's been a lot that we've talked about. It's been a lot of lessons learned. We've got through the whole fucking COVID deal. A lot of tough times, a lot of trying times, and a lot of experience, a lot of growth, a lot of life that's happened in 69 episodes. It's taken over a year for us to hit 69 episodes, obviously. And so I thought it'd be cool to kind of just go through kind of a recap of not really like everything that we learned, obviously, but just the biggest lessons that we've learned over the past year and a half since we reformatted this podcast from 1 to 69. Just kind of the biggest takeaways, the biggest life struggles you've had, the biggest things you've got through, kind of the biggest life lessons and where you're at today. And I'll let Joel start here.
All right. Yeah, I wish I knew about this topic. I would have given it a little bit more thought.
You don't ever know about the topic.
I have learned quite a bit while shooting this and working with Tyler, obviously. The one I've mentioned before is you said I was doing the podcast before this, and it was like on Zoom and just in my basement in my underwear, kind of just half-assing it. And what I love about working with Gata is he always pushes you to do bigger and better. And if you're going to go for it, go all in. And I feel like we've done that this entire time. We worked with the CC Media. Tim Rexius lets us use this badass studio. I feel like we've gone about it the right way. We've been pretty consistent. Missed a couple weeks here and there, but that's going to happen with life, especially when you have businesses and families and new startups you're trying. I know we're both doing. Josh just started a new venture too, so that we are able to get together even once a week and powwow for an hour. I think that shows that it is a priority for us. But yeah, man, over the last...
And that we do it for free.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Over the last year, non-podcast related, I would say really the biggest thing I've learned, especially because you brought up COVID, is like you can't always just believe what you're being fed, right? Like you'll notice everybody has an agenda, and sometimes people just want to tell you one thing, and it's very easy for us to take the path of least resistance and say, all right, well, I'm being told this, it must be true. So just to be a critical thinker and do your own research and come to your own conclusions by doing that. Because if you're just relying on other people, whether it is like the news or even people that you consider to be a superior to you, they don't always know what they're talking about. Sometimes they have ulterior motives. And so that's been a huge lesson for me this year is like, don't just take people's word for stuff.
Right.
You got to come to your own conclusions. And I'm sure more with the podcast specifically. I mean, we covered the same topic was reoccurring, surrounding yourself with the right people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's first and foremost. Balance. It's one thing to work on yourself, but you can't take away from like your family. Obviously, you want to be a well-rounded person, not just a really good business owner and a shitty husband and father. So finding the balance is huge. And then just learning from your lessons. And there's really no such thing as failure as long as you are taking lessons away from it. And as long as you're continuing to grow and reevaluate from your mistakes or your missteps, then, I mean, you're evolving as a person, which I think we've covered a lot. And I think those are the three biggest things that I've definitely taken away from the DWL.
100%. What would you say, like, business-wise? I mean, you've grown exponentially in the past year with your company, plus going into different business ventures while still balancing, you know, your family life, Kennedy, your wife, you know, all that stuff. And one thing that I admire about you is that you're always so time focused. You know, we're sitting out there bullshitting with Tim and getting ready for this podcast, and Joel's like, come on guys, time is money, let's roll. And you know, we get done with the podcast and I'll sit around and bullshit a little bit. Joel's always just fucking out the door, gone. Even when he gets in his truck, I'll get in my truck and like check my emails, get back to my client or, you know, my guys, my employees, or answer some texts. Like it might be 10, 15 minutes before I leave the parking lot. Joel's fucking in his truck and gone. You know, so what, I guess, how do you see that or how'd you get to that point? And what's the biggest thing that you think has grown you business wise and structure wise to get where you're at now?
Well, I've talked about that before on the podcast too, is I hate Kennedy looking up at me and her mom at like 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock and we're all just on our phone. So if I'm catching up to emails there or working there, that's unacceptable to me. So by like 4 o'clock, typically Kennedy comes home. So that means I need to hardcore press it until 4 because I want to make sure whether I'm working on Joel's Daily Fitness or 7-Figure Fathers or whatever it is that day, that gets my full attention. But as soon as it's family time, like I'm not half dicking everything. I'm able to fully concentrate, be where your feet are essentially. And so that does help. If I was able to work until 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, it'd be a lot easier to be like, oh, 15 minutes here, 30 minutes here. I can go do this. But it's like, no, I got that time limit. It's like when you're playing basketball and you see the clock in your eyesight. You're like, oh shit, I got to get it down the court and in the basket. I got 4 seconds.
Right.
So yeah, that's just be where your feet are, concentrate on what's in front of you, manage your time. Caleb Moran's a huge asset when it comes to that. But that's really it. Got to concentrate on what's in front of you and prioritize.
What's your, I know you've honed in a lot more on, through just episode 1 to 69, I know you've honed in a lot more on what life means to you and what you want out of life and what you see in life. And you're manifesting and where you want to go. Has your life purpose changed or evolved in the past 69 episodes?
Yeah, man. So it's funny because...
And what is your life purpose?
Well, I've been looking forward to getting that 2 Comma Club award.
Yeah.
Basically just meaning that $1 million has gone through Joel's Daily Fitness.
Yeah, your ClickFunnels.
And that's been on the vision board for a long time. I'm like, oh man, once I get that, my life will finally be complete. You know, it's all good. And then it came, it was cool for like 10 minutes. And like, that was a lot of buildup for nothing. Where at the end of the day, what I get the most joy out of is when Kennedy does come home from daycare and it's time with the family and she's growing up so fast, just spending time with her. It's funny. I could be broke and obviously I'd be way more stressed out as a provider of the family and no one wants to be stressed out. But I could be broke or rich as fuck. It doesn't really matter as long as, quality time with your kids, at least in my position. I feel like that is the purpose, making sure that she's taken care of, making sure that we're raising her right, making sure that she learns lessons that maybe I had to learn the hard way a little bit easier, even though I'm sure she's going to learn her own lessons. But really, yeah, man, just being a dad's like, that really is the purpose,
100%, dude. So I was thinking about like how much my purpose has evolved in the last year or year and a half, 2 years, whatever. And my purpose is still, let's just say it used to be a lot more money success driven. My purpose used to be, it used to be a lot more about like the dollar sign or the car or the Ferrari or the Bugatti or whatever, the jet. And I still want all that shit. Don't get me wrong. Like it's all on my vision board. I'm still going to have all that shit. But my actual life purpose, like what do you hear? What do you wake up for every day has evolved for sure. And it's more so evolved into being the best father I can be, being the best man that I can be, and helping as many people as I can, which is the main reason why I want to get into coaching and get my coaching going. Is it lucrative? Absolutely. That's great. That's a plus. If you're good at something, you're passionate about something, you can help people, you should get paid for that. Like that's how this fucking society is set up, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is actually being able to help people. And I kind of see it as, for me, in my eyes, like that's my doing God's will, is being able to help people and transform people's lives. That's what makes me feel good. So if I can be the best father I can be, the best family man I can be, and actually be there for people and help people, that's kind of more, that is what my purpose has changed into, and I still want to have all the cool ass shit. I still want all the money in the world. Like who the fuck doesn't? I still want to be able to provide and not stress out about buying. I want to be able to buy anything, but just like you said, if it came down to like two choices, which that's the beauty of this, we don't just have two choices and we never will. So that's a great thing. But if it came down to two choices, like be poor as fuck, but your family is healthy and happy forever and ever, and you're fulfilled because you love people and people love you, or have all the money in the world, but your kids are going to hate you. I'm choosing the broke as fuck where my family loves me and people in my life love me. Like and I love people in my life. That's what truly matters. But it's just, I don't know. This is just kind of a nice little reflection moment. And I was kind of having these, I've been having more of these reflection moments as I've been going through some harder shit in my own life recently, and a lot of pivotal moments in my own life recently where I am, pivotal moments where I'm transferring in between different things in my life, choosing different things in my life, getting a lot older, seeing my son grow up. And it really puts you in the place of meditation, clarity, like just really fucking, I feel like when I was younger, I was a lot more into the tunnel vision of just go, go, go. Didn't really look for the meaning in anything. Didn't really care about the meaning in anything. Didn't really, give a fuck about anything but, the end goal, where I was heading, and everything else was just kind of a blur, now I'm able to kind of, and it probably helps that I have a lot of those things that I've dreamed about for my entire life. I just bought my first Airbnb, like a month ago, something like that. And that's been on my vision board for years. I say vision board, I don't do vision boards, but that's been in my manifest for years. And I finally bought my first Airbnb. Like a lot of these things are coming to fruition that I've been manifesting and wanting and working towards for a long time. And it's just like you said with your 2 plaque or whatever it was, where you did $1 million. I've been wanting these things for a long time, but then once they come, you realize like, okay, that was cool. Like what's next, and like, what's the bigger picture? And so I think that's a good thing, because I see those. So I'm not going to stop on those more like financial goals, we'll say, or the more, what's the word I'm looking for? The more
monetary. Yeah.
Monetary goals, like the cars and things like that. I'm not going to stop on. I'm just like, you're not. I mean, I'm sure you got that plaque and you're like, okay, so now we're going to go 3 commas, so you get those, you meet those goals and then they change. And that's great. That's beautiful. You know what I mean? Always strive for more. But when I can actually slow down and say what truly matters, though, if I don't get the 3 commas, am I going to die? No, I'm not. Like what truly, truly matters, that's when I'm able to take a step back and really kind of focus more in on what really matters to me and what my life is. I don't know. It's a pretty cool clarity, like moment or time in your life to actually truly, and I advise anybody that's listening to this podcast, even if you are younger, I wish I could have told my younger self to take a little bit of time and slow down and think about what truly, truly, truly matters to you in your life. I say that with a grain of salt. When you are younger, that tunnel vision is also very useful. it can propel you forward into where you want to be financially wise. And if you haven't started your family yet and that's what your main focus is, that's okay too. I wouldn't be where I was today if I didn't tunnel vision on my goals and run so hard as I did. And it puts me in a place now to where at 32 years old, I'm ahead of most people in my age range, and I can slow down now a little bit more than everybody else. And I can be able to focus in on the things that I truly want in life a little bit more than a lot of people in my age range will just say, and can actually try to enjoy life a little bit more. But I'm still not going to stop. I'm never going to stop. I'm still going to push towards my goals. I still have huge financial goals that I want to hit, and I'm going to still go towards those. Josh, what's the biggest thing that you've learned in the last year? Obviously, you haven't been on the podcast
You're
long.
gonna need to pull that probably way.
Yeah, you haven't been on the podcast long, but in the last year, what's the biggest thing that you've learned as far as in your life?
The biggest thing probably is, knowing, you kind of both touched on it, like knowing what's important, things like that. And of course, like you guys said, monetary is nice to have, to be able to provide for your family and offer the things that you need to make living a little easier. But sometimes, just the small things in life are nice to just soak in. Like money isn't everything. I shared something on my page actually about Alan Roberts, who, do we want to teach our kids that just grinding and getting the money is everything? Or do we want to teach them like, hey, find things that you like and you enjoy to do? Because eventually over time, after so many hours of doing that thing that you enjoy, you become a master at it, right? So I think you mentioned last podcast, like 10,000 hours, you become a master, something along those lines. Well, once you become a master, somebody's going to want your skill, whatever it is. And then you can sell your skill. So then you can monetize basically the thing that you actually really enjoy doing. So to me, like that's something I want to teach, Eli, my kid, to do the things that he likes, live happy. To me, the key to life is happiness. If you're happy, things are good, everything kind of clicks. It's focusing on the positives, it's a whole perception thing. If you perceive the world as doing good, it brings good into your life, and then you're only focusing on the good. So the bad things happen, you don't even think about it because
you don't see them.
Right. You don't even see them. You're like, whatever. My life's so good. I have all these positives. But if you're just sitting there only focusing on the negatives, that's all you're going to see. And then it's like, oh, my life sucks. I have this, blah, blah, blah. And it just piles up. So to me, living happily, I guess, is the biggest thing that I've learned this past year.
Choosing happiness.
I
feel like you can choose happiness if you're focusing on the right shit.
Dude, so that actually brings into the biggest thing that I've learned recently and in this past year is that actually brings it. That's a great cameo right into it. Is that your life is what you choose, 100%. And if you're not changing it, you're choosing it. But life is 100% what you make it. Like there's no ifs, ands, buts, no shortcuts around it. 100% what you make it. And you are in 100% control of every single decision that you make. Every single one. Even if somebody does something to you or you get fired or whatever happens where everybody plays the victim card, doesn't fucking matter. You had choices in that you did, or you allowed that person in your life or whatever it may be, or you didn't, live up to your full potential in that job or whatever it is. Everything that you choose is 100% on you. And when things do happen to you, whatever you choose from that point on is 100% on you. And so life is 100% what you choose. And that's the biggest thing that, I know this, but it's still, people get in these situations where it's very easy to kind of just let things happen. I think everybody's done that in their life. And it's very easy to just kind of, certain things, I don't really have a great example, but certain things like, oh, this happened and, it could go either way. It's cool. I'll just let it ride for now. I'll just let it flow. We'll see what happens. When you really have to know to go, I guess, kind of go back to the last podcast, but you really have to know, like in your core values, what you align with and what you really, really, really want in your life. And when you truly get to know who you are and what your core values are and what is okay to you in your life and what's not, then your body's your guide. And when you start getting anxiety or knots in your chest or anything like that, that's your body telling you like, whoa, 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 we're off course. This isn't right. And if you don't listen to that shit and change trajectory to something that aligns with what you want in your life, what you want your life to be and where you want to go, then you're off. But that's the beauty of the whole thing, is that you're choosing it all, you know? And another big thing that I've realized too, especially with being in this, I mean, we're obviously not famous here, but in the limelight of doing a podcast or being a public figure or, you know, posting quotes, you know, we posted some quotes from the podcast that I've said and stuff like that, is that you really, really, really have to practice what you preach in every aspect of your life. And I haven't in some aspects of my life. I practice what I preach in 95% of aspects of my life, you know, but there's certain times where, you know, I've said some things in the podcast and haven't lived that through fully to every area of my life. And I've actually had a couple people call me out on it before, close friends that know me, like not a lot of people know all these things, but really close friends that know a lot about me and know deep down in, and they're like, hey man, I like that quote, but does that align with this that you're choosing? I'm like, fuck you. Fuck. And, so that's kind of a pain in the ass. Most people don't have to deal with that, but it's also a beautiful thing, because that's keeping me true to me and who I am. And so when I hear that, and the funny thing is when I was told that, I already knew it. I just didn't know that anybody else knew it.
Yeah.
But I already felt a little bit like a fake, like, shit. You know, I'm not aligning all of me with that. I'm aligning most of me with that. Like, I'm doing cool shit. I just bought a $600,000 Airbnb. Like, who the fuck are you? What can you tell me anything? You know, but it's not all about that. It's not all about the money. It's every aspect of your life. And that's when you're living to your true identity, is when every single aspect of your life, every part of your life, every part of who you are matches up with your core values and what you want in your life and who you are as a person, you know? And so I was able to look at it and be like, oh, fuck, you're right, man. You know, and that's another key point to being a growth-minded person, is actually being able to self-reflect and not get just all like, you know, pissed off and, oh, fuck you. I could have easily said like, fuck you. What have you done? What'd you do this year, dude? You know, like, get the fuck out of my business. But it's not even like that, because I want to be the best me all the way through. And the truth is when, even though I didn't know anybody else felt that, when I felt that, I wasn't my full best me, and I could feel it, you know? You know, I've talked about this before. If you have strong core values and you truly know who you are, you know when something's off, man. Or at least I do. I know when something's off. I know when I'm not living to my full potential. I know when I'm off path. I know when I'm not giving everything my all. I know when I'm not centered. I know when I'm not grounded. I can feel it, you know, like certain days just kind of feel like you're just going through the motions, kind of like a blur, you know? And that's not how I like to feel, man. I want to be optimal every day. Now, everybody's going to have a fucking day here and there, don't get me wrong. But the majority of my days, I want to feel optimal. I want to feel like I am living true to me and what I believe, and I am on my shit, and I'm giving life and everything that I have. I'm giving it my best shot. And that really comes down to not taking shortcuts, doing the fucking work, practicing what I preach, being true to who I am, staying in my core values and who I am as a person. And if I can align all those things and do the hard work and not be scared of doing the hard work. And this is another thing that I've realized too this year. And we had a whole podcast on fear, right? But I've even come to more clarity on it since that podcast. That podcast was quite a while ago. Fear to me is a good thing. Like, it's so good anymore. Like, I almost want to run to the fear, because that's where I'm going to grow. That's where I'm going to be the best version of me that I can be. But it's fear, right? It's fucking scary. Like, not everybody always wants to run to the fear. Most people run away from the fucking fear. And in these scenarios where I wasn't aligning with, where I wasn't practicing everything that I preach, I was running away from the fear, just to be honest, I'll call myself out just like I'll call anybody else out. But I was running away from the fear. And it's super fucking easy to run away from the fear, man. Nobody wants to be in fear. But the true power of it is that's where your growth is. And once you run to the fear and you actually conquer whatever the fuck that fear is, you come out on the other side not afraid anymore. You match it, you beat it, and then you move forward. Then it's like, what's the next fucking fear? But that's anytime you're going through pain, struggle, fear, anything like that in your life, that is going to be the biggest growth that you'll ever do in that moment. You're not going to grow when things are hunky-dory and things are cool. And hey, listen, life's a roller coaster. Sometimes things need to be hunky-dory and cool. Like you can't live in fucking fear and pain or struggle constantly. Like that's not a happy life either. That's not what I'm saying. But there's going to be moments where things are just kind of like flowing. Everything's cool. And that's cool. Enjoy those moments. There's going to be moments where you're up on the peak and you're like, oh, fuck yeah, this is fucking amazing. This happened. I finally got this. That's cool. Enjoy those moments. But there's going to be also moments where things are fucking scary and maybe you have an opportunity to take an action or take an opportunity that is fucking scary. And all that I'm saying is whenever those moments roll into my life with all the other moments, I don't want to run away from them. I want to jump right on that train and be like, all right, cool. I'm on for this. Like I've got this opportunity right here. Scares the fuck out of me. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know what's going to happen through it. But I know I'm going to get through it. And when you can jump on that train and actually hop on the fear and roll through it, you're going to get to the other side, man. You're going to. Like I've never done anything that scared me. I'm still alive. So like it hasn't killed me yet. You know what I mean? I've never done anything that scared me and not came through the other side a better person ever.
If you're not scared, are you actually growing?
That's what I'm saying. If you're not going through struggle or fear or some kind of thing like that, you're really not growing.
And I wanted to touch on something else. You were saying practicing what you preach. The thing is we're human. Like we're not going to be perfect all the time. We're going to make mistakes. That's what makes us us. But at the same time, it's being able to see those mistakes and then being able to continuously grow. This isn't like hey, I got there and I'm done. No, it's a lifelong, continuously grow, continuously be a better person, learning from your mistakes. That's what being a human's all about,
Gonna make a shit ton of mistakes.
Do it all the time.
Every fucking day.
All the time.
So I saw a quote I'll leave off with. It was from some basic B on Instagram, but it was good. Ties in line with this too. It said, start thinking about what your perfect life looks like and start saying no to everything that's not that.
Exactly. 100%. If something doesn't serve you, don't fucking choose it. If it doesn't feel right, don't choose it. If it doesn't give you what you want in life or not going to head you towards a trajectory of where you want to go, don't choose it. And you don't have to people think that there's you can choose anything and you can not choose fucking anything. Don't like your job? It's your choice if you go every day. Yeah, you might be fucked if you quit without another replacement, but that's still your fucking choice. Don't like your job, you can quit. Or
at least look for a new job, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying every single thing in your life is a choice. Don't like this person in your life, this toxic person in your life, cut them out. Don't like your job, find a new job. Anything, man. Anything in your life is a choice. We are surrounded by probably billions of choices a day, and every single choice that you do shapes your life. I heard this in an RTA, one of the RTA calls, but what you do today is what your life will be in 90 days. And I believe that so much. How you live your life today, the choices you make today will come to fruition in the next 90 days. And, obviously it's not literal, but the whole point to it is whatever you do today in the present is going to shape your future at some point in the near future. And people take and they look at their days oh, today I can just fuck off, or, today doesn't matter. I'll get after it tomorrow. I'm going to just lay on the couch today. Tomorrow's a new day. I can get to my goals tomorrow, or I'll put this out today, but I'll start it tomorrow. I want to start this new company, but I'll get to it on Monday. You're just slowing down your future. You're just slowing down your results. You're just slowing down what you want in your life, because every fucking day counts. Life doesn't even know what Monday means. Like every day is just a day, you know, Monday through Sunday. There's no like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's some bullshit that we as humans made up.
Right.
Honestly, like time is even some bullshit that we as humans made up.
Yeah.
So really, it's just every fucking day, take action. Whatever you do today is going to shape your reality in the future. And so if you're a piece of shit today, your reality is going to be a piece of shit reality in the future. If you give it everything that you have today, your reality is going to be fulfilled in the future. You know, if you're a dirtbag today, you're probably going to have a dirtbag life in the future. If you're a good person today and treat people well, you're probably going to have people in the future that treat you well. You know, it's like whatever you put in is what's going to come out. Whatever you choose is whatever your life's going to be. Whatever you choose to have in your life, whatever you choose to surround yourself, whatever choices you make for the person that you're going to be, that's what's going to shape your life in the future. And so it's the whole, I fucking hate victims. I cannot fucking stand the victim mindset. I hate it. I fuck up constantly, just like you said, I fuck up every day. And even when I realize that I'm falling short on something, I just blasted myself in front of fucking, 50,000 people in our group and whoever else is going to listen to this fucking podcast. And we got people that listen to this podcast from around the fucking world. I just blasted myself to every single one of them and said, hey, listen, I was not living congruent with in every area of my life to who I truly am. That takes some fucking balls. And what I'm saying is like, look at your life. Are you living congruent to who you truly are in every area of your life? Not just fucking 2 of the areas out of 5 or 6 of the areas out of 10 or whatever it may be. Like every fucking area in your life. Are you living congruent to who you are? Are you giving it your all? Are you being the best version of yourself that you can be? And that's what it truly comes down to. And this shit does matter, man. If you're not going to live a fulfilled life. You're just not. And if you want to win and you want to get the most out of life, that's how you have to be.
Do the work.
Do the work every day, dude. Don't be scared of the work. Run to the fear. Run to the work. Like I saw this deal. What was it? One of my buddies, Brian, that I met at the Arte Syndicate. He's like, I suck at a lot of things. God, I'll have to find it. He goes, I suck at a lot of things, but there's 3 things I'm really good at that propel me forward. And it was like, I work harder than you. That was the first one. It was like, I don't stop. I'll have to let me look for it real quick. You guys fill in a little bit.
My mind's telling me no. Just start singing some R. Kelly for you.
You got to have some good shit to say, Josh. Let's go.
They're freestyle.
All right, here it is. 3 things I'm good at. I take massive action. I work harder than you. I'm consistent as fuck.
That's really all you need.
That's
Shit.
it. He's like, I suck at a lot, but these 3 things have been the foundation to get me where I've gotten. Crazy thing is we are in control of all 3 of these things. And that's Brian A. Bobby on Instagram, buddy I met in a Arte Syndicate. And he's a successful ass dude. Great dude. But I take massive action. I work harder than you. I'm consistent as fuck. And like that shit plays in my mind, dude. Like, am I living to my core values? Am I being the best version of myself that I can be? Am I practicing what I preach? Am I taking action every day? Am I outworking everybody else every day? Am I being consistent every day? Those are the things that are going to propel you forward. And this is not even, we started this podcast talking about how money's not everything. This isn't even all about money, man. Of course, these things can get you monetary things. They can get you if that's what your goal is, they can get you the Lambo, the private jet, 10 figures, whatever. They can help you get that stuff. But this is also just to live a balanced life. Like if I am not practicing what I preach and staying true to who I am, I'm off kilter, bro. I'm off balance. And that affects my son. That affects me. That affects my emotions. That affects my mental state. Like that affects my work. It affects everything around me. When you are a fucking boss and a leader or a father, which is a boss and a leader to your children, your wife, your kids, your business, whatever it may be, a lot of people listen to this, entrepreneurs. I kind of see myself as like in the center of my world and my reality around me. And if I'm not living to my full potential in the center, nobody else around me is living to their full potential. Like we affect everybody in our lives, whether we see it or not. And everybody in our lives affects us, whether they see it or not. And so if I'm off balance, my son's probably feeling off balance. Like everybody else is going to feel a little bit off balance in my life. My company's not going to run as smooth as it could. I'm not going to make as much money as I could. My clients are going to feel as taken care of as they can. It's just like that whole thing of I knew I wasn't living my best truth in every single area of my life. I knew I was living my best truth in most of my areas of my life, but not every single area. But I didn't think anybody saw it. But people fucking see it, man. You can tell when someone's like, look at Andy Frisella. You can tell when someone's like, damn, dude, that motherfucker's on his shit. He don't give a fuck. He is on his shit. He's living congruent to everything that he believes and every fucking thing that he does. Every area of his life, he's on his shit. You know, that's who I want to be. I want to be so on my shit in every area of my life that I know what I'm doing and I'm true to me, and I don't give a fuck what anybody else says or thinks or does or whatever around me, because I know that, hey man, this is my truth. I'm living to it to the best of my ability, and that's where I'm heading. That's it. Cool. All right. Well, this is the all right, guys. So we're going to start doing this podcast on our own. After this, like I said, we're not using CC Media anymore. We had some conflicts of interest with CC Media. I don't want to like slander them or anything like that, but for us, it was not a great experience. We did not enjoy working with them. So we're going to start using this podcast, or start recording this podcast on our own. Josh is actually going to start recording it for us. So we have most of the equipment. We have a few things that we still have to order, kind of hone in to get there. So it might be, usually we try to put an episode out. It's been like every other week recently. It might be 2-3 weeks before we get the next one out, because we just have to, basically figure out how to do this stuff in-house and on our own. But we're very excited to be able to do that, because that means we can shoot podcasts whenever we want. We have more flexibility. We're not going to be censored anymore, which is illegal, but we're not going to be censored anymore. We'll be able to say whatever the fuck we want in our podcast. And it's going to be great, man. We can get on and hop on whenever we want. We can say whatever we want. It'll be a lot better scenario moving forward. But just be patient with us as we get all that rolling. But yes, thanks for tuning in to the Dads Who Live podcast. We are on all the formats for the podcast. We're on every fucking format that's out there. And we have apparel, hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts, all that shit. It's all on the website, and the podcast format's on the website, www.dadswholiftofficial.com. It's been a minute since I've done this. It's been a few weeks. We are on IG as Dads Who Lift Official. We are on Facebook as Dads Who Lift Podcast. We also have a group of 50,000 like-minded dads trying to be the best selves and stay fit at the same time. That is called Dads Who Lift Official. That is a Facebook group. So if that's something that interests you, check that out. Stay true to who you are. Have a good day.
It's forever, this life is forever, no surrender. It's forever, this life is forever. I ain't bigger dead than alive, bigger dead than alive. I ain't bigger dead than alive, dead than alive, yeah. I ain't bigger dead than alive, bigger dead than alive, live.